Well, now you kind of get the idea of the backdrop I was talking about. I thought I'd throw a couple little things together, you know, for you guys so that you could see, like, what I'm saying. You know, obviously this is just for display right now, just to start the whole situation. But in case I want to tell fun stories, crazy stories, because I mean, that's kind of where the channel is going, where I've always had the idea that it would go, because I've lived in a station wagon, and I figured that's just a small story to tell today. So I end up, you know, we were so broke that we ended up living in a station wagon. We took off the first time we went to Vegas. Now, I went to Vegas a couple times, but the first time I was so goddamn broke. I had no idea how I was going to make money. You know what I mean? It got to the point where I didn't know if I was going to sneak in the casinos and if somebody had a couple $100 in their hand, grab it off a slot machine and run away. You know, I mean, it was that bad. I was living in the back of a station wagon parked at a motel with 2 car batteries in it and a converter, you know, to charge my phone, and absolutely nothing. Anyway, a guy off the street that I knew got me this costume over here, Eeyore, and I begged for change. That's how poor I was. I had to beg for do dances in 110-degree weather inside that suit. It's probably 200 degrees, you know. I've done it before. I worked for Chuck E. Cheese when I was in high school. I told you in another video, and for 2 years, so it wasn't a big deal, but I was cooking, baby. I was fucking cooking. I'd be lucky to make $15 a day. That's about all I made. Yeah, so I came from nothing. Like, nobody's ever going to say that I didn't live through it. I lived with nothing, and I mean nothing. I can't even remember eating. I thought about it today when I got this Eeyore costume out. I don't know how I still had it. It's dirty. The costume needs a wash, but I don't even remember eating. I can't even remember if I ate. Like, you know how, like, in life you get good meals sometimes? You go out with a family member, you go out with somebody you remember eating somewhere. That first trip I took to Vegas, I was probably 25. No, I wasn't even that old. And I don't even remember anything at that time for a year. I don't even remember a single meal that I ate, or a single. Yeah, it was rough. So I lived poor. So if you've been poor, I know what it's like. To the point where you're eating ramen noodles every meal of the day. Oh, horrible. Wearing that stupid suit, making just enough money to buy a pack of cigarettes. Anyway, that's what that suit is. That's what the Eeyore suit is. That's the whole story behind the Eeyore suit. I used to wear that, and I'd dance and say, "Oh, humbug," and stuff like that, you know, right outside of where the waterfall went off at the, what was that? Outside the Caesar's Palace, I believe. They had the big waterfall there, and I'd sneak in there and try to get sodas, and oh my God. And then I was living right up the street in the back of a station wagon. I'm not going to tell all the stories. I've lived in RVs and stuff. I'm going to save those for another video. I just wanted to show you and kind of get into it to explain to you, like, the whole idea of this backdrop and everything. But yeah, boy, oh boy, I was dirt poor, and I mean dirt poor. Oh, we'd get enough money, and a night back then, a night at a motel was only like $35. I mean, it was a horrible place to be. Right where Tupac got shot. I stayed at a rental right there, right off of Koval. Horrible, horrible. Lucky to get a room without bed bugs. You'd have to check all the mattresses, and you'd be through 7 rooms. By the time you actually went to sleep, you try to find a room without bed bugs. I mean, you only got maybe 7-8 hours of sleep, and then you're drinking beer too, because whatever, you know, if you finally get somebody gave you $25-30, you bought a case of beer, a pack of cigarettes, somebody else kicked in, and you got a room for the night. Yep, that was my first trip to Vegas, and one of the street guys said, "Hey, I got an extra costume," and I did that for a little while. It was too hot. It's to the point where you're willing to do some crazy shit. Besides having to get up every day and put that on and go outside a casino at 110-degree weather and you're inside that outfit. Begging people for bottles of water, street kids that are selling bottles of water that you know from the hood up the road. But anyway, I just thought I had enough energy to come down here, and I got all cleaned up, and I thought I'd set up a couple little things like this guitar and stuff because I can play the guitar, and that's the story of that outfit there. And I'll come up with some really good stories, and I'll try to write them down and then tell them, you know, because I got some great ones. And I think you'll laugh your ass off. But anyways, that one right there reminds me of where I started, how dirt poor I was, and I was fucking poor. I mean, I was poor. People tell you they were poor. I was living in the back of a station wagon poor. You couldn't sleep at night. It was so fucking hot, twisting and turning. And I'd get up and put that outfit on just so I didn't have to go back to jail, you know? Better than going to jail, but it wasn't. It really wasn't. I look back now and I think, I don't know how I didn't end up back in jail or wherever, you know? Horrible. Anyway, that's the story about that, and I got my little setup here to start. I can put something on that screen if I want to show it. Bring some other stuff in here. It doesn't need to get congested. It just needed to look a lot better than it did. It looked like shit, and I think I accomplished that already. Maybe write switch up there or something, or put up a neon sign. Like I said, I'm going to clean these tanks out so you guys can see the piranhas really good. And then I'll try to come up with some really good fun stories about traveling and people, the things people have done to me and the things that I've done. And oh man, I got 100 stories, but that's where I'm going to end it because I just wanted to show you what the painting was all about, and this is the conclusion to that. So hope you guys have a good night, and I'll get into some stories here eventually. So I got a cool little spot I built here, so like and subscribe.